0-2 from the lefty. He puts him away, struck him out. 11 strikeouts.
Good evening, maybe a good morning, actually. Hello, we're here live, 1 a.m. And, man, oh man, I'm very happy. Of all the times I can be live at 1 a.m. doing the postgame show, tonight is definitely one of them. This was a game that you wanted to stay up for here tonight, and if you did, you got yourself a treat watching the debut of Connelly Early, the number 6 prospect in the Red Sox system, according to MLB Pipeline. This guy looked absolutely amazing here tonight. 11 strikeouts through 5 innings. That ties a Red Sox rookie record with Don Ossie in 1977. I mean, he had a chance to break that record. He had a shot for the 12th strikeout. Ended up just finishing with the 11, though. But Early, wow, what a debut for him tonight. This guy had composure all night, good body language all night. I mean, my goodness, he stepped up in a massive way as well. He got into a little bit of trouble in the 4th inning, loaded the bases. You're thinking, oh, okay, maybe this is the time where the A's really get to him. Instead, this is what happened here.
He had trouble holding it throughout a game, throughout an outing.
2-2 again to Lawrence Butler. Got him! Struck him out with the bases loaded. He showed.
I mean, holy cow, what a strikeout to Lawrence Butler. I mean, Lawrence Butler, one of the better players in the game. Holy cow, man. This guy was fantastic. Just had a good pace all night. Like I said, good composure really all night. Just good, clean, fluid mechanics. You know who he reminded me of? This is probably the worst comparison that you could make here. But when I'm looking at the mechanics, I'll just say it. Henry Owens, like, he really reminded me of that, and obviously Henry Owens ended up being quite the bust. He was a higher draft pick for the Red Sox not too long ago. Ended up not living up to the expectations, but Connelly Early was like Henry Owens, but 100 times better. I mean, way better velo, way better stuff. Like, this was what I envisioned Henry Owens becoming. Unfortunately, that never happened, but we got Connelly Early here. Just really like the mechanics with him. Nice and fluid, repeatable mechanics as well. Threw a lot of strikes, good command of the secondaries as well. He was keeping the breaking stuff just down below the zone. He was going in on the lefties, going away from the lefties, in on righties, away from right. I mean, he was just in total command. You know, sure, giving up a couple of hard hit balls here, but overall, only 1 walk on the night. I mean, this guy was absolutely fantastic. What else is there to say? Sure, it's only 1 start into the career of Connelly Early, but this gets you pretty excited here. And you start to wonder, could the Red Sox rotation actually be in pretty good shape here going down the stretch over the last few weeks? I mean, if you can keep... I mean, listen, let's see how this goes over the next couple of starts. But if he can keep looking like this, you know, give you 5, maybe 6 strong, I mean, the Red Sox rotation is in pretty good shape, if you ask me. He got a lot of help from the offense in the early going. This offense really stepped up for him, and you got to love that. You know, obviously, I'll never know the feeling of starting a game in the major leagues as a rookie, but I would imagine the nerves are just through the roof. But to be able to get the offense in the early going, to back you up there, to give you a little bit of breathing room, that had to help. And the Red Sox offense, hats off to them here. You know, a couple more problems with runners in scoring position. They were 2 for 10 overall tonight, but they got the couple of big swings they really needed here. Overall, 6 runs, 9 hits. Romy Gonzalez and Rob Refsnyder. I mean, listen, these guys, they just went to town here tonight. I mean, they looking like they were looking like Manny and Poppy there. They were looking like, you know, Gehrig and Ruth, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco. I mean, my goodness, these guys, when they're at top of their game, they're absolutely fantastic. Romy Gonzalez staying hot here. Home run for him. A bit of a bittersweet night for Romy, though. Did leave the game with some knee soreness. Hopefully that's just more of a day-to-day kind of a thing, but he kept his good streak going. 12-game hitting streak now. He went 2 for 2 with a home run, a double, a couple RBIs. Rob Refsnyder, holy cow. I don't know if that ball's come down yet. The ball that he hit tonight, I think it might still be traveling, to be completely honest with you. Holy cow. My goodness, what was it, like 460 feet? I think he hit it like 110 miles an hour off the bat. Rob Refsnyder, man. What a dude. What a dude. Jarren Duran, Carlos Narvaez, Nick Sogard getting doubles here. Bregman, Story, picking up some hits. Story, solid game for him tonight. More so defensively and on the base paths, picking up his 28th steal here. Now 2 away from 30. We could very well see a 25-30 season from Trevor Story. Flashed some great defense as well, helping out the bullpen. Hey, they had to go a little bit here tonight. Early, yes, great debut. Went 5 innings, so the bullpen ended up picking up 4 innings there, but Story really helping them out defensively here tonight. Almost had the double play there in the 9th inning. And of course, they end up challenging it, and it got overturned. My goodness. I'm thinking at that time, hey, can we just wrap this up? Can we just put a bow on it? Let's just get going here. It's late here on the East Coast. My goodness. But overall, what a game here tonight. We would have not have seen the debut of Connelly Early if it wasn't for Dustin May going on the IL. So some roster news. Forearm tightness. I would imagine Dustin May is as good as done for this year. Listen, anytime you're hearing something along the lines of forearm tightness, that's going to make you wince a little bit. That tends to not lead to good things. Hopefully it ends up being nothing. It's whatever. But if that ends up being the case, if that is the end of the season for Dustin May, I mean, are we going to look back at the trade deadline and say, wow, was this one of the worst trade deadlines? Sure, Steven Matz, he's been solid. He pitched here tonight as well. But could you look back on this deadline and say this was one of the worst deadlines the Red Sox have ever had? Sure, he gave you a couple of good starts. That Astros start, we were all feeling pretty good about it. Thinking, all right, maybe he's proving us wrong here. Maybe we jumped to conclusions. And then he did all right against the Orioles the next time out. But after that, he just got rocked for 3 straight starts, went to the bullpen, and that was it. I will say this, though. Going back to that deadline, we're all looking to see maybe the Red Sox could, the dream was Joe Ryan. That was the guy that we all wanted to try and get. Merrill Kelly was a guy that was popping up as well. I'll say this. If the Red Sox ended up getting Merrill Kelly, there's a very good shot Connelly Early was going back in that trade. I mean, you go back to that trade with the Rangers and the D-backs. They sent back their own left-handed pitching prospect in Cole Drake, who was pitching well in the minor leagues this year. He's in AAA now. He was dominating down in AA. He was also the number 6 prospect in their system. So, if there's a comparable guy, Connelly Early may have fit that profile. So, yeah, who knows? If they ended up making a better trade, would we have even seen this debut here tonight? It's funny how things work out like that, right? Awesome stuff here tonight. Listen, I got to say, it's been a pleasure, no matter what ends up happening this year, no matter how this season ends, no matter what happens, you get to the postseason, whatever happens there, I'm going to look back on 2025, and one of the bright spots for me is being able to witness a couple of really good pitching prospect debuts, because we haven't had this in a while. It's been a long time. You go back, right? I mean, you think about Clay Buchholz, John Lester. You think about those guys that came up through the pipe. There hasn't been a lot of these debuts for the Red Sox over the years. The Red Sox, for so long, have had a lot of issues when it came to the pitching development within their organization. And so to be able to see 2 guys within the same month come up and contribute in Peyton Tolley and now Early, that's a pleasure. And that is going to be a bright spot no matter what ends up happening this season. So awesome to see. Speaking of Peyton Tolley, he is going to be getting the start tomorrow. Alex Cora announcing that. And we're all wondering what's going to be happening for Game 3 here tomorrow against the A's. You've already won the series. You're going for the sweep tomorrow. But Peyton Tolley, this will be his first time pitching on 4 days rest, normal rest for Tolley. They've been giving him more breathing room between starts, limiting his pitch count as well. I'll give you my thoughts on that when we go preview the game here tonight. But, we were all wondering what was going to happen. And Peyton Tolley getting the nod for tomorrow. I'll give you my thoughts on what I think is going to end up happening in that game. But we got a great crowd here tonight at 1 a.m., 1:08 a.m. Eastern Time. We got about 100 people in here. You're all awesome. Thank you for joining me here tonight. But let's get to it here. Let's get to the show. We're going to talk about early. We're going to talk about the offense. Again, we'll talk about Game 3. And we'll check the standings as well. The Yankees, they got pummeled here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The Tigers, holy cow, they went to town. And the Yankees bullpen absolutely imploded here tonight. We'll go talk about that. Scott in the chat, good morning. How you doing, everybody? Good morning. For some of you, it might still be the evening time. Maybe you're on the West Coast. I don't know where you are, but thank you for joining me wherever you are. Everybody, let's get into this. If you can, just hit the like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 5K by the end of the season. We're about 250 subscribers away. If you could help us out, I love you forever. Before we get going, though, we do have a word from one of our sponsors tonight. I'll be right back. The NFL season is underway, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FOUL. That's code FOUL to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
Alrighty, let's get to it. Let's get to the Connelly Early debut. Let's break this down here. There's a lot of good stuff to talk about, but in the chat, I want to acknowledge a couple of you. We got Brandon Cummings, first time joining the live. Brandon, how you doing, my friend? Good evening or good morning. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the morning time where you are. But Brandon, welcome. Welcome to the show. And we got someone from, we got B. Doherty, 19, listening from Beijing, China. We're going worldwide here, ladies and gentlemen, from China, for crying out loud. We got someone from Tennessee. You guys are coming from all over here. So thank you for joining me here tonight. Let's get to the debut. And like I said, a lot of good to talk about here. You saw 5 pitches from Connelly Early here tonight. He was averaging right around 94 to 95 miles an hour on the sinker. This guy was pounding the zone here tonight, 57% in the zone tonight. He was mixing locations, changing eye levels. He just looked like, I don't know. Listen, I don't want to over-exaggerate over one start. Yes, it's exciting. But, man, he just showed a lot of maturity here tonight. He was just so in command of his pitches. Just mixing locations. He was just really fun to watch here tonight. Had good bite on the slider and the curve. He was keeping him, pretty much down for the most part below the zone, getting a lot of swing and miss. Speaking of the swing and miss, holy cow, he had a 41% whiff percentage here tonight. He got 50% whiffs on the sinker, 41% on the slider, 30% on the changeup. Holy cow, what a whiff percentage in your debut. That is fantastic. The changeup had some good downward fade on it. Bit of a harder changeup, but just had some good dive on it. Really like that. Got some good swing and miss there. He was keeping those down below the zone as well. Mixing locations with the sinker for the most part. He was kind of going all over every quadrant, really, with the sinkers. Going up, down, left, right, whatever it may be. Gotta love that. First 8 hitters sat him down. He was almost perfect through 9. He ended up striking out 5 over the first 8. First strikeout of his career to Nick Kurtz. Changeup down and away. Colby Thomas on a slider. Soderstrom was looking on a sinker near the knees. I will say this. Again, listen, I can sit here and make everything sound completely hunky-dory. You know, it's the most amazing debut I've ever seen. There's a couple of things where I'm looking towards, you know, a couple of starts down the road. The one pitch that he got Soderstrom on the knees, I will say, it was good sinker, you know, low in the zone. Did fool him, but I wonder how many of those he's going to be able to get away with moving forward. You know, maybe not be keeping sinkers, you know, kind of closer to the middle of the plate like that. Again, you know, he's got good deception there, good stuff. You know, I'd like to maybe get those towards the corners a little bit more if possible. But Butler, he got him swinging on a sinker up and inside. Brent Rooker got him swinging on a curveball below the zone. Gotta love that. And in third inning, giving up a couple of 2-out hits, Geloff and Langeliers, so you saw the A's starting to, you know, maybe see him a little bit better here. But then he proceeded to strike out Rooker on the curveball below the zone. Fourth inning, absolute freaking nails. I mean, we already saw the video earlier. He loaded up the bases, giving up a few hits, all singles. He struck out Hernandez with a slider below the zone, and then he struck out Butler again on a sinker inside. Just looked uncomfortable. Didn't look like Butler really had any answers at all for Early. Huge fourth inning. You saw the composure there with Early. You know, I mean, loading up the bases the way he did. You know, giving up a few hits. I will say with Early here tonight, you know, looking at the final line, yes, 11 strikeouts, but you know, was giving up some hits along the way. Like I said, you know, he gave up a few there in the fourth inning, but 5 hits given up here tonight. And there were some harder hit balls as well tonight. Either way, though, was able to work around him. In the fifth inning, he walked Geloff, then he struck out Langeliers on a sinker up and away, then he struck out Rooker on a sinker. Everything was just looking great. Everything was coming out of the hand, just awesome. Good spin, good break, good fade. Everything looked great. Connelly Early, man. Congrats on this debut. Go get yourself a nice meal. Go get yourself some good food with the family. I saw the family. They were in attendance here tonight. Mom, dad, I think he has a couple of brothers, 2-3 brothers. I'm not sure. But he had the whole, I think 2 brothers were there. I think they said during the broadcast that one is serving in the military overseas. I think I heard that. Big military family as well. Love that. I have a couple of brothers that were in the service as well. One in the military, one in the Coast Guard as well. So pretty cool. Love seeing that. But overall, great night. Again, go get yourself a nice meal. Go get yourself, I don't know, get yourself a nice steak. Go enjoy yourself, Mr. Connelly Early. But let's get to the offense here. The bat's staying hot. And again, you gave really all the run support you needed in the beginning of the game. Romy getting it started with his 9th home run. That made it 1-0. 12-game hit streak for Romy. Bregman, Story getting some base hits there. Story, 28th stolen base. And then Ref Snyder with an absolute blast. That made it 4-0. Again, 463 feet, 110 miles an hour off the bat. It was just holy cow, what a shot. Again, it might not be down at this point. I think it's still traveling in the air somewhere. Second inning, Sogard with a double. Romy with his 20th double. That made it 5-0. 8th inning, you got Massa who came in on the pink sheet appearance. He was able to drive in a run. Give you your 6th run of the night. Overall here, solid night for the offense. Yes, you would like to see... You'd like to see the, more of those opportunities being able to come through. Again, 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position here tonight. They have had their issues with runners in scoring position. I do want to get that cleaned up just a little bit. That's just me. Maybe I'm nitpicking. It is what it is. But overall, Early looked great. Bats looked great. And the bullpen. Weissert, Slayton, Matz, Murphy. Each of them got an inning. Slayton did look a little better here tonight. Still giving up a couple of hits, though, so still a work in progress here for Slayton moving forward. He did get some help from Story, diving catch to his left to Rob Brent Rooker. Overall, great night all the way around. Going for the series sweep tomorrow before the big series this weekend. Everybody, let's get to the standings. We're going to talk about Game 3 tomorrow. Before we do, though, one more word from our sponsor. I'll be right back.
FT fam, let's talk about Fair Harbor. And if you're listening, I hope that you watch this conversation at some point because we're doing show and tell, Kratz. Shorts, they can be used as a bathing suit. And the liner, which we call butter, is the game breaker. It's the playmaker because it's different.
You've worn shorts that are not like this, and the liner sucks. They are buttery on your butt.
I just came up with something for them. Your liner sucks. Get Fair Harbor liner. Seriously, give it a shot. I'm not just saying this. The butter analogy plays. And FT fam, you know we're hooking you up. fairharborclothing.com/foul. 20% off when you use the code FOUL on your first purchase. Once again, that's fairharborclothing.com/FOUL for 20% off your first purchase and use promo code FOUL.
Alrighty, let's get to the last couple of parts of the show. We're going to talk about the standings. Again, there was some movement in the standings here tonight, and then we'll get to Game 3. And also in the chat, Kick Puncture in the chat, $10 says Robbie doesn't say hello to the chat in the next 5 minutes. Well, Kick Puncture, I've already said hello to the chat already, and I was pointing out earlier that we had someone from freaking China watching here tonight. My goodness, we even have a first-time listener here tonight. So Kick Puncture, I think you owe me $10. I think you owe me $10, my friend. Hello, chat. How we doing, Kick Puncture? You can PayPal, Venmo. I expect my $10 at some point. I'm just kidding. Keep your $10. Let's get to it here. Let's get to it. The standings. The Yankees. They got pummeled here tonight. 12-2 by the Tigers. Bullpen completely fell off a cliff. Fernando Cruz, I think Mark Leiter Jr. as well. I think they gave up like 9 runs combined, for crying out loud. Holy cow. But let's update this. Yes, the Red Sox and the Yankees are, well, the Yankees are ahead by 1 percentage point. By 1 percentage point. But 3.5 games back, both in the, or 3.5 games up in the division. So I'm getting tired, ladies and gentlemen. I got to go to sleep soon. Let's try that one more time. They are both up 3.5 games in the wild card. The Mariners, they got the 3rd wild card spot. They picked up a win here tonight. They've now won 4 straight games. The Rangers, they also won tonight to keep pace. The Rangers, how about the Rangers taking the Brewers to town here? Look at that. The Texas Rangers winning 2 out of 3. The Guardians, they won their 5th straight. Man, these teams are getting hot. What is up with these wild card teams, man? They get red hot. They get ice cold. It's like yin and yang. You're just like, which way you going here, right? Those teams, it's going to be very interesting to see how this all finishes out. I'm still going to lean towards the Mariners at this point. My heart wants me to say the Rangers because I predicted the Rangers to get to the postseason. Not sure if that's going to happen at this point, but they're doing what they can to keep pace here. And the Guardians. So the Royals, they lose again here tonight. They now fall 4 back for the 3rd wild card spot. Let's get to, and also, check the division. The Blue Jays did win here tonight. So the Red Sox and the Yankees remain 3 back in the East. If you can just keep pace here, a couple more weeks. We got Toronto. Man, oh man. You never know what could happen. Never know. Let's get to Game 3 tomorrow. And if you are watching with me on Nesson, I do have to wrap it up right there. We are just about out of time here tonight. If you want to see the rest of the show, come on over to YouTube, Monster Territory. Come subscribe over to Monster Territory and see what else I got to say. But Nesson viewers, thank you for watching here tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Remember, the game, everyone, tomorrow, it's not going to be this late. We got is it on 3 o'clock? I think it's 3 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. So we'll be here earlier tomorrow night. So, Nessa viewers, we'll see you tomorrow. Oh, kick puncture. You didn't have to give me the $10, man. Kick puncture. I appreciate that. That's a big like. I was just teasing earlier. But thank you. I appreciate that. You said here, cheers. Keep up the great coverage. My friend, thank you for always coming out here. And everyone else as well. Thank you for always joining me, especially at what time is it? 1:23 Eastern time here. God, I got to go to bed. I got to get some sleep. This morning I woke up and my sleep schedule, it just gets wrecked with these games. All day I was kind of tired. I still woke up right around the same time to try and, keep that sleep schedule going, but it's awful. It's terrible. Terrible. Early game tomorrow, though. Thank goodness. Let's get to that one. Peyton Tolley getting the start. And obviously, great start against the Pirates to begin his major league career, going up against Paul Skeens there. And then against the D-backs, definitely some things to work on. And the big things that jumped out to me were just the secondaries, really. And, working on the location with the fastball, I just felt like he was pounding the strike zone. I mean, he was definitely filling it up, but it was just too many hittable pitches, and the Diamondbacks, they got a lot of good hitters in that lineup. Say what you will about the Diamondbacks this year, but still, a lot of talented bats. And, Tolley can't be leaving as many pitches like he did over the plate. And the secondaries weren't really able to bail him out. How many times did he get an 0-2 count and just wasn't able to finish off a hitter? And then I think Ketel Marte had a 13-pitch at bat against him, and they ended up walking him. So that's something Peyton Tolley is going to have to get better at, and let's see if he can, bring some of those, hopefully some things that he's worked on and discussed with Andrew Bailey this past week. Hopefully we can see some of those improvements in tomorrow's start. Now, I will say, I wonder how long this start is going to go. That's the one thing I'm curious about, because this is his first time this year going on normal 4 days rest. So they've been giving him more rest between starts, limiting the pitch count. So I wonder what the pitch count is going to be like for tomorrow. I guess it really just depends, how efficient he can work. If he ends up being extremely efficient, then who knows? Maybe we end up seeing like 4 or 5 innings. Again, I don't know what the pitch count's going to be. If I'm going to guess, I don't know, to limit it to like 75, something like that. Maybe less. I don't know what it's going to be. Do we only see a couple of innings? Is it going to be something where it's like more of a bullpen kind of a game? I will say this, though. The fact that he is starting tomorrow, I think says a lot about the way the Red Sox view him. They see him as a starter, right? They don't want to put him in the bullpen. That is the big thing that jumps off the page to me, is they want to start getting him into this routine. And the fact that they are starting him tomorrow, I actually wonder if that's kind of where, sort of by design a little bit. Maybe they want him to kind of start getting into that normal 4 days rest a little bit. And this could be a good way to do it, where if you limit the pitch count a little bit and start kind of building back up to that, I'm kind of wondering what the game plan is moving forward. Are they going to go back to that rest that he was doing prior, or are they going to keep going with this 4 days of rest? That, I would imagine the latter, right? Because you kind of want to just keep a set rotation for the rest of the year. You don't want to be having to go back and forth like this. But if this ends up being the Red Sox rotation here for the rest of the season, listen, I'm all right with it. You don't want to lean too much when it comes to the rookies here and Tolley and Early, but I like that you're committing, obviously, Crochet, Giolito, Bayo, right? These are your, Brian Bayo. Is Brian Bayo a veteran at this? Do you consider him a veteran at this point? Maybe not quite there, but Obviously, he's been in the rotation for a few years now. But, those are your three. And then you got a couple of rookies at the back. And I think that's kind of the way the Red Sox would like to go here. For the Connelly Early starts, implement more of that bullpen. That's the way I'm feeling about it. They just want to keep a set rotation the rest of the way. And hopefully everyone's healthy and then no one else, comes up with any issues. And because that's what you want. You want consistency at the end of the day. But we'll see how start number 3 for Connelly goes tomorrow. We already talked about Wilyer Abreu last night. Alex Cora said that looks like he could be back next week. We need Wilyer Abreu back, man. We need this team as close to full strength as possible. I'm still hoping Roman Anthony can make a miraculous recovery by the end of the month. I don't know about that, but it's nice to be getting Wilyer back eventually. Great night, everybody. Jonathan in the chat, is Romy okay? I'm getting ready for the show, so I haven't seen... is there any news? I haven't seen anything. Let's see if Cotillo, has he reported anything? Only thing Cotillo said was Romy has left knee soreness. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. I would imagine they're going to get some kind of an MRI or some kind of evaluation for tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, Cora, in the chat, Cora said day to day. I did not watch Cora's post game. I did not watch the Cora cam here tonight. Unfortunately, I missed the Cora cam. But hey, day to day. Okay, Gabriel Romy thinks he's good for Friday. Okay, this is why I like to watch the Cora cam. But it's late. I kind of wanted to get it going here tonight, so I couldn't watch Cora tonight. It is what it is. But good to see Romy's all right. He was walking around and whatnot in the dugout, so I'm kind of thinking, doesn't seem like a big deal. Maybe a couple of days, and he's fine. Because he got the day off, too, on Thursday. So that'd be good. He'll be all right. Romy's a gamer. He'll be good to go. Everybody, I'm out of here. It's 1:30 in the morning. Go get some sleep. I'm going to go get some sleep. I'm exhausted. My goodness. I got stuff to do tomorrow. I got to work on some stuff tomorrow. But we'll be back here probably around 6. Let me confirm that game time. Let's confirm that. Hold on. 3:35 Eastern time tomorrow. So we'll be here probably around 6:15, 6:30 Eastern time tomorrow. So be on the lookout there. Be on the lookout for the stream. Everybody, thank you for joining me tonight. It's been a late one again. I think that's it. Are we done with the West Coast games? Are we done? I think that might be it. Well, for minus tomorrow, but are we done with all the late ones? I think we did it. We did it, everybody. We made it through all of the late night West Coast games. So I want to thank all of you that did join me this year for all the late ones. We had a lot of them. I'm glad they're over, though. I'm not going to miss those. My goodness. We'll do them again next year, but it's been fun. What a ride. Everybody, I'm out of here. Go get some sleep. I'll see you tomorrow.